Happy Hump Day, Hulahans.
Yes,
It's
indeed. That
July, Johnny.
is so crazy, Danny. So we have passed the halfway mark. We are in
Half
the latter half of 2025, dude.
things move quickly.
Make it stop.
Slow down at least. You're on island time.
Give me back my hair and make it black again. I
So
swear I stopped maturing at 35 in my head. That's
there
that's
it is.
the
Always
that's the height of
understood.
maturity for me.
That's why we're buddies.
Yep.
You're just living in my world now.
Yep. I only look like an uncle to you.
Yep. Talk like an uncle, look like an uncle, but really you're not.
Yeah. So a couple new things going on Maui. That was
Some
very
exciting
interesting.
things.
Yeah. What is it? Honolulu Ula? What was the one in Wailea?
Yeah, Honua Ula.
That was it. Honua Ula. So squeaked by the first reading, 4-5 with the Maui Council. 17 years it takes the developer to get to this point. And so what is that? I mean, to me, the location looks to be Maui Meadowish.
Yeah, so let's actually, I'll pull it up on the map here.
All right.
See if they actually,
Oh, there it is.
there we go. We can zoom in on this.
Makawa Rodeo coming up over July 4th, gang. That's a lot of fun.
So here's Maui Meadows
Yep,
on the X, and then this new project is right here.
got it.
And here you go, Hanua Ula.
And then you got the McKenna Resort still going, where you can absolutely steal a beach cottage down there for 5 milli, I wanted to say.
That's it, steal it.
So
So
17 years in the making, just past the first reading. So that means could be shovel ready by 2060. So start saving up now, gang. You've heard it here on the show. New construction on Maui always makes for an amazing investment. So the big discussion about this Honolulu, though, was there was an original agreement from the developer to build 450 workforce housing units, because that's how we do it here on Maui. As a developer, 50% of your production has to be at a loss.
which was in 2008, mind you, so 17 years
Right.
ago, right, when they had this discussion and gentleman's
Correct.
agreement.
Yep. So now it's dropped. That's what the big lament is. It's somewhere in the two something range. However, they have to expand the bypass there into double lanes. And so the developer's telling the state, hey, if you pay for that, we'll throw in an additional 50 affordable housing units. That's how
Yes,
it's done on Maui at a snail's pace.
little
But,
negotiation. So
yep,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say that's
So
going to be a worthwhile investment there, in my opinion.
yeah, it's going to be an opportunity for a lot of people. I mean, the affordable units is one thing, and then the other, what's 800 units, 700 units, something like that that they're going to build. But I think with the affordable is like, okay, so that was the price they agreed to in 2008. So 17 years later, building costs have gone up significantly, which I imagine
Absolutely.
plays into what they're willing to kind of throw in affordable housing units because now it's going to cost them a lot more to build them, and they don't get to sell them for the true market rate. Is that what you see as well?
I did. And so now, I mean, so the county council's kind of wisened up to what we've complained about, where, in the past, these workforce housing units would not come with any sort of deed restriction, or maybe it was 5 years. So you had to live in it for 5 years, and afterwards, boom, you just killed it. You're literally made a millionaire by winning that one lottery ticket to buy a workforce housing unit. So now they got to put in curbs in that to where you don't get to make the money. You got to sell it to somebody else within some sort of pool. And once again, just government regulation showing up like it always does whenever they try to do these sorts of curbs and balances. Is that real estate? I say not.
Not really.
There has to be a better way, right? We've talked about it. We feel like that's leasehold. That's
Leasehold makes sense to me,
There it is. You control the cost of the land, you control the cost of the sale to the next person.
basically. Keep the lease
Yep.
fee down.
Yep.
And the new enemy, what I'm hearing all these discussions is pools. So interesting testimony with a lot of the Minatoya was, from the people who are against the bill are like, hey, we just want to swim in the pools too. Like we just want to be able to swim in the pools at these condos. And then at the same time, a lot of their other fellow against people are saying, well, let's just get rid of all the pools altogether. Let's drain them all because they're using all our water. And so it's kind of becoming a point of contention now where I've seen even in this bill, they're saying any swimming pools need to have covers on them and need to be like the covers need to be put on like first thing after it closes and all night and yada yada yada. And like it's just getting kind of interesting at this point. Like there's a lot of swimming pools.
So all this stems from a fire that happens in our town of Lahaina. I really haven't heard much about accountability for the state and county people that were involved. And what we're focusing on is TVRs and pools. Make it make sense, Danny.
TVRs and pools. That's it. Well, so this is just one of the projects that's kind of a bit puzzling in some ways. I mean, this is going to be an opportunity for a lot of people, and it's a beautiful area of Maui, right? Just next to
Yep.
Maui Meadows, the area for Rebels, which showing Maui Meadows the
Incredible.
last 7 years, I mean, pretty much every agent has said, like, this project will never happen. It will always be shut down. Well, now we're a little bit closer to that. So never say never. But speaking of kind of housing projects and affordable housing,
Yeah.
so this project, for those of you that don't know, my wife is actually a real estate photographer on Maui. She has a team
Best
and
one on
takes
Maui.
takes care of a lot of the vacation rental photos, especially, and then different architects, designers, and a few of the agents that are okay to work with. Get to pick and choose. But yeah, if
Yep.
you ever need real estate photography, I think we'll have her on the show sometime, talk about pictures, because we kind of poo-poo on the pictures sometimes. So I'd love to hear from
We're
her
snobs.
on
Total
what makes a
snobs.
good picture and why pictures are important for either your vacation rental or your potential listing. But anyways, they shot this project and the architect, the developer involved who was organizing the photo shoot kept saying how difficult it is for them to fill it. And then he's relaying this information to her, and then she's relaying it to me and like, hey, you need to help them fill this place. Um, and so this is a new project above Foodland Farms off the bypass in Lahaina. And
Just
Johnny,
as you come down into Lahaina, the Safeway and all that, you can see them off to the side there. Yeah, my daughter tried to get into this complex here with her boyfriend. Try to get into a two-bedroom. She's a waitress, although she has segued and she's doing something with her degree, working with kids with autism now, which is exciting. Boyfriend, 1099 construction dude, couldn't get in here. I do
so
have some
and
friends. I do have some friends that did get in, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, I mean, here we are with a housing shortage. We built workforce housing and we can't fill it. And
and
what's it take to get in here? Well, you need to make 60% of the median income of Maui.
which is not a lot.
No. I want to say poverty level on Maui for like a single person was like in the $50,000 range.
Yeah. So it's somewhere a little bit north of that. The
Yeah.
exact
And,
number. So basically now
and we're not filling it.
what we have, Johnny, is now we can't qualify you for the affordable housing because you make too much money.
Nope.
But we also can't qualify you to actually buy your own house because you don't make enough money. So now you don't make enough money for one, you make too much for the other, and you're kind of stuck in the middle. And actually you don't get anything.
And we're going to do all the things that we dream about without building it all. And we're going to keep having children. And then we're going to wonder where they're going to live constantly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all this talk, I mean, sounds good in theory to transform the housing and make things available, and yet there are opportunities like this available. These are long-term rentals. These are affordable housing. and they are having a hard time filling it. And so it just makes you a bit of a head scratcher of like, what is actually going on here? What's the solution? And how
I'm
do
going to
we actually,
venture I'm going to venture a guess, Danny, that it absolutely has nothing to do with desire. I'm going to tell you that they have probably a zillion applicants. It's just everything relies on our county and the amount of time that they take to do things. Hawaiian Homesland, you're in a deal right now. Was supposed to close in 6 months. Now they're pushing it out a year.
yep, we're 8 months
That
into it now. No updates.
one person that works in the office there,
That's it.
Department of Hawaiian Homesland. Yeah. So how do you even buy that way? How do I know what my payment's going to be? What's my interest rate going to be in 1 year?
How do I know I still have a job in a
Yeah,
year?
I know I
Lots of
sound like I'm
questions.
complaining. I know I sound like I'm complaining.
I think it's hard. It's complicated. Like we've talked about, your mom's on the Hawaiian Homelands list. She's getting up there in years. She probably won't have a chance to get anything. There are many other people on the list many years. There's affordable housing that people can't get into. There's lists long, but like it's just all like, where do we go? I think people are keep hitting their heads. Even they do the right things, even they do the right steps, even they're working hard in some way. I mean, your daughter's working hard, your boyfriend's working hard. Like for them to have their own place would be awesome.
Yep, it always just comes down to how complex and highly nuanced this tiny market is. And you know what, Danny? It's what keeps me so fascinated by it, dude.
This
It,
is
you
true.
have got to be on top of your game, and you have got to just snatch every little piece of information that pops up, man. It is insane, and I love it.
It is. And that kind of segues us into our next portion. And we've kind of noticed something with a certain type of clientele that has been coming to us and reaching out for help and suggestion is there's a lot of information to communicate and not enough time to communicate it often because there's multiple phases in this process of real estate. Wherever you are, doesn't matter where in the country, it's similar phases. And yet what we often see as people come to Maui, they jump right into phase two before they even think about phase one. Now, phase one is really the information gathering phase. It's creating a strategy. It's having a game plan. It's understanding the nuances of the market, figuring out the market dynamics, understanding pricing strategy that we talk about a lot. All of these things go into phase one of this process. And unfortunately, we don't often even have a chance to have that conversation with people. It's great to, I want to see the property. I'm here. I'm here for one more day on vacation. Leaving tomorrow, Johnny, and I want to get into these 2 or 3 units, which happen to be vacation rentals, and probably have guests in them. So it puts us in a tough place because we want to communicate process. We want to explain steps. We want to inform you of everything that's going on. So you're not surprised in the transaction when something is a little bit different than you're used to in California, at Seattle, and Chicago, or wherever you're coming from, right, Johnny? So what have we experienced?
Yeah, well, number one, I feel like the reason behind it is because we do deal with a more savvy buyer, right? I
Yes.
mean, they're in Seattle, potential is that they're tech, maybe they already own rental properties, they've been in the real estate game, or they have friends that talk about it or do.
Yep.
It's what we get over here, right? I mean, it's people that are
Yeah.
used to high taxes and high property values. And what's amazing to us that we found is a lot of times people buy more, they spend more here on Maui for the second home than what they actually live in back home.
Yeah.
Um, I had to learn my lesson, Danny, through Zillow, right? I was
Mm.
the one that pushed us to start buying Zillow leads. If people don't know how Zillow makes their money, it's off of us. And there are agents out there that spend a lot of money, and that's also what prompted me to do it, right? So we were spending $2,000. We were guaranteed 9 leads a month, and we were comparing that to friends that we know on Oahu that drop 10 grand every month like nothing, right?
Yes. For a
And
similar amount
so
of conversations. Yes.
for me, I was driving the boat, right? We heard from our buddy Robbie T over there in Fargo, South Dakota, that was running an
North Dakota.
inbound sales, North Dakota inbound sales associate team, ISA. And he shared with us that he would give the team a lot of pay-per-click leads that we don't have to talk about or explain, but then he'd sprinkle in some magic Zillow leads because they were the low hanging fruit. So I had to prove it to myself, right, Danny? I convinced you 8 months ago, let's give this thing a shot. Even talked to one of our mortgage friends, and he started kicking in some money there. So that made it a little bit more palatable. But what I have discovered, Danny, because we did get people right off the bat ready to write, just like you said, ready for stage two. And
Yep.
as we tried to counsel them as we went alongside them, because they already identified something, they're driving. You tell me you're ready to write. We're going to write the deal. Let's go. Get in the truck.
Yes.
But then we found out that they would kick and cancel because as they went along with us, they discovered that we were right. And I don't
Mm.
say that to be an egotist, but it's like I'm sharing this with you so that you can make a choice. That is my only reason. That's the whole reason for the show. I want to talk to people and strategize with them so that we can discover together whether this Maui thing makes sense or not. That's literally
Yeah.
all I'm here to discover with you. And once you make a choice, I think I've won. I did my job. And I'll guarantee you that there's going to be a big portion of that time where people said, you know what, John, we appreciate this. We're going to Portugal now based off of what you shared with us.
Sir.
Right. That's really the whole intention of this show. So we feel that maybe we could do this process called nurturing, which is a term we use in this business, to where maybe you can discover this on your own just by hearing us talk about it. And then now maybe you can be ready for phase two when you show up on the island.
When it makes sense for you. We've
That,
heard from some of our faithful listeners that they do have aspirations of potentially buying one day, and so yeah, the intention is this is helpful content information to be aware of the nuances, be aware of the steps, be aware of the local vibes, be aware of the rules, be aware of the regulation, and last but
yep.
not least, the financing, which has been kind of a challenge. So we ran into that
It's the
recently with
biggest thing.
one of the deals. We always recommend a local lender who understands the nuances of Hawaii. Sometimes some of our clients have personal relationships with banks on the mainland, and there might be an opportunity, but oftentimes those people think they can make it happen, and it just doesn't work out that way, right, Johnny?
Well, it's especially in the condo space in general, and I'm not just talking about vacation rental condos. I'm going to make a statement that you cannot get conventional or government financing in any condo on Maui, except for maybe Napili Hau villages, just because I saw somebody close there recently on FHA. And the reason for this is it could be structural issues. Everything changed after that condo fell in Florida. That
Yep.
literally changed the condo game across the nation, and it highly affected us here. So insurance issues, active litigation, sea level rise issues, all of these things here make it very, very difficult to finance a condo on Maui. It is not impossible, but
No.
we have to set the expectation that you can expect to spend 2 to 3 points just to pay for the loan to be done. And then if rates are in the 6% range, you're probably looking at 7.5%, maybe 8, based off of your personal situation. I.e., if you're self-employed, guys, you're going to have to pay more. It's just how it works because you don't show the income that you're actually making. And this is where it hurts you a little bit. So the financing, I just cannot stress enough. Down payment wise, you'll be lucky if you only have to put down 25%. I would set the expectation of 35%. And I'm going to set the expectation right now that if you're going to put 35% down on a vacation rental condo, it's not going to make enough money to pay itself off right now. Because while the pricing is becoming attractive, the reason for that is the uncertainty. And then also the uncertainty is causing people not to come over here in the droves that they used to. So the rates are down. So it's attractive to buy right now as long as you can float. But if you're going to add financing to it, just know you do need some capital to make this thing work. Um, Now, if you choose to wait, that's cool. But I can almost guarantee you that when the rates bump up, so will the pricing. So this is where the strategy sessions start to come in, right? So that's the main one right there. Setting that expectation. Zillow can't determine what condos can be vacation rented or not. And now we take that to another level where nobody can determine what's a Minatoya list condo and what isn't. And so that's where we come into play here. That is the highly nuanced nature of Maui. If you are here on Maui and you see a vacation rental condo and you go to Zillow and Zillow has a little schedule there and says you could see this in 2 hours, that's not going to happen. If there's somebody staying in the condo, the last thing they want to do is have you come and take a look at it after they dropped X amount of money per night. Sometimes in the past, they could be bribed. I say it's a waste of time.
No, it's a waste of time for sure.
It really is. So that is the scoopy scoop on what it takes to get in on Maui on a small level there.
Small level. And if you are at all curious or might find it helpful to jump into step one, stage one of the process, have a little bit of a further discussion, whether a quick one or a longer one. We do have links down in the description where you can book some time on our calendars and chit chat with us. Sit down, personal, private, just us. We can talk story, even if you decide this doesn't make sense for you or you prefer to go somewhere else. We have
There it
helped
is.
many of people make the decision that Maui is not for them for various reasons. And that's
There it
okay.
is. That's right, man.
For some of you, it will make more sense to keep coming once a year and rent something for a week or 10 days or a month, whatever it is that you prefer, and you decide to buy something or invest somewhere else.
And I'm going to tell the retiree clientele, if you're somebody that's been coming to Maui for 20, 25 years, it is going to be very difficult for you to buy because you remember what these cost 20 years ago.
Yes. And those 30 years ago in the late 1990s, even
Yes,
more so. And we do hear those
absolutely
stories a
right.
lot, right? Every time we hold open house, we hear people that have been coming to Maui for 20, 30 years, staying in the similar condo year after year after year after year.
And there's the secret. If you do want to just pop into something because you're just that curious and maybe it just makes you feel like you accomplished something on Maui, I went and looked at something, look for the open houses, guys. And, we're all, there's always going to be one of us sitting in there. We absolutely want to answer your questions because we're bored. And so, yeah, just come into an open house. Even
Drop
better,
into an
just
open house.
reach out to me, come have a smoothie with me, and we'll just talk story. Literally, I can
There you
wrap the
go.
whole
And
thing
if
up in about 20 minutes, man.
And we'll give them the secret sauce, Johnny. If they don't want
Yeah.
anyone pestering them,
Yep.
bothering them after going to an open house, sometimes that happens, right? Agents get a little excited. They get your phone number, your email. They tell you to log in, sign in. If you don't want
Yep.
anyone pestering them, just tell them you're working with us.
There it
Even if you
is.
haven't decided if we're the guys for you, you can just tell them, hey, I already
Yep.
got my guys. I got Johnny, I got Danny. They're my
There you go.
boys. And they'll leave you alone. They won't talk to you.
That's it.
They won't call you. They
That's
won't
it.
email you. They won't put you on the list. So if that's your get out of jail free card, feel free to use it. We won't mind, and we're not holding you to anything either. So,
All right. That
well,
being said, how you feeling after yesterday, Danny? Big day yesterday for both of us.
yeah, so we got this little mantra around here of it's not about proving yourself, it's about improving yourself. And I think
That.
we're both pretty intentional, high IQ, high EQ, kind of emotional intelligence, soft, sensitive guys, and we want to be better. We notice our weaknesses, we notice our tendencies to get caught up in certain things. And so I threw you out a challenge that I'm going to spend July and August reading my days of sports, news, and X, formerly known as Twitter. These things tend to take up a lot of mind space in my world. I do like sports, it's fun, but I find myself kind of continually chasing the next bit of news. Same with all the news in the world right now. There's just so much going on. It always feels like, well, what's new? What's happening next? Maybe it's a little dopamine hit. Maybe it's just
Oh,
keep myself busy. Maybe it's have extra time on my hands. Uh, Whatever it is, but I posed you that challenge. We started it yesterday, and I gotta say, my mind feels pretty clear. It's like I describe it as a wet noodle. I just feel a little bit more free to flow around and not so stiff. How about you?
I don't feel so anxious. You
Mm,
know, my vibe was definitely X. And then, I mean, I just had this list of like conservative news sites that I would just like hit, and they all would show up on the X feed too. But I'm like, okay, I gotta know like the freshest story that's going on. And I mean, it was just so triggering because right now there's just so much stuff going on, right? I mean, dude,
yeah,
Trump, whatever you agree with him or not, I mean, he is a polarizing, fascinating character right now. And
totally.
yeah, man, I mean, it's just amazing to watch. It's so different from the last 4 years too. And
Yeah.
I found myself caught up, man. And you know, the minute I told the wife, she just jumped all over me. She goes, "That's so good. I mean, me and Maddie, the daughter, have been noticing." I was like, "Oh my god."
So
That's the problem when you work from home, right? I mean, yeah, I can clean
day
the
two
house,
of
I can cook the
day two
meals.
of this.
Yep.
And I gotta say, it feels good. I'm not trigger happy, like quick go on my computer and X and on my phone and scrolling. And I find a little more space in my world to work out, to get back in the gym, to read, to study some language, and just kind of chill out, just enjoy. Caught a rainbow yesterday. That was fun.
Dude,
Sent you
that
that
photo you
picture.
sent me. Yeah, that was gorgeous. You know what I started reading, dude, was it's a book called It's Only Drowning. Guy's
Mm,
last name is Lit. It's a true story. So he was Obama's speechwriter. His wife's involved in something with the Democrat Party as well. Um, the wife's from New Jersey area. And anyway, her brother is more of like a blue collar, Trump supporting kind of conservative dude that likes to ride a Harley but surfs. And so the
mm.
story is about the speechwriter. COVID hits, so for some reason, he starts surfing, and now these two guys are starting to get together, and that's what the story's going to be about. So pretty
Ooh.
exciting, man. Yeah, I'm pumped on it. You know, the best surfing novel that I've ever read in my whole entire life was Barbarian Days: A Surfing Life by William Finnegan. It's Pulitzer Prize winning, and it is absolutely a true story. And the coolest thing about it is like there's a part where he comes over here in the 70s to Honolulu,
Mm,
and he talks about Les Potts. He talks about Les Potts being the best surfer at Honolulu and the absolute best shaper in Honolulu. And like his dream is to have a Les Potts board. Les Potts, I want to say, is at least in his 70s. Still a hardworking dude. He works within Kapalua. I see him almost every morning when I'm surfing at Ironwoods. I say, "What's up, Les?" I try to talk to him about the story, and all he did was like just kind of curmudgeon grumble. Blah, blah, blah,
mm.
blah. But anyway, that's my little thing today. If you're into reading and you're anyway curious about surfing, Barbarian Days is Surfing Life, and then It's Only Drowning. Two cool surfing books.
There you go. Couple of book recommendations. They didn't know what they signed up for hanging out with us, listening to the show, and now we're getting into personal growth and development, and we just want to bring you we just want to bring you on our journey. You guys get to know us a little bit and just see what we're up to. Wherever you are, life can be tricky, life can be interesting, and this is just something we found to be helpful in this season. So if you want to join us, jump on board.
Go.
Get rid of news or sports or Twitter or whatever you want for a couple of months and let us know how it goes. Love to hear about it.
With that, Danny, should we do the hula?
Yeah, I guess so. We kind of
Let's hit it.
expanded this front section a little bit more and a little
We
less on the
have.
hula, and I think people have been kind of enjoying it.
Yeah.
Let me find
We
where
definitely
our
definitely
tweet is.
appreciate the comments, man. It makes it real. Like, holy cow, these are real people listening to this, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it feels worthwhile. Feels like it's been helpful for people. I think all of the above. It's always nice to. You seeing that all right, Johnny?
I am. Danny looks like a whaler too there.
It is
Million
a big
seven
whale.
fifty. So it's a one bedroom, two bath. That price, I'm going to say it's probably near the back of the building, but the views are still stunning. So yeah, it's backish. Beautiful view of
Blackish.
Lanai there. What you're looking at down below is Hula Grill and Monkey Pod, literally directly next door to Whalers Village. Whalers Village has had some new additions. Cool Cats, they've been killing it in Kihei, dude. And then they opened
Hmm.
up a Cool Cats Express so they could be back over here on Maui. Sale Pepe, by far some of the best Italian food you're going to find here on Maui. He's from Naples. She's from the Bronx, I want to say.
Hmm.
They used to be right in Lahaina, right close by to the old Longies there. If anybody remembers when we had a KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I want to say it was the actual Kentucky Fried Chicken that they took the place in. Of course, that all burned down. They lost their house, but they just opened up in the industrial section just above Safeway. They also opened up an express place there in Whalers Village. And then was that the only one there? Yeah, I think that's it. So a couple new additions there. Super cool.
That's pretty
Um,
exciting.
it is, man. The Whaler. I mean, it's right there. So one of two hotel zoned condominiums on Kaanapali Beach proper. It's the Whaler, and then it's the Elite.
There's your options.
That's it. Timeshare, you can buy them at the Marriott, or you could buy at the Hyatt Residence Club as well. I did a short stint at the Hyatt Residence Club. My first sale was $450,000 for timeshare.
And just for kicks and giggles, let's take a look at this, Johnny, shall we?
So you're spending $1,750,000. You want it to at least gross 10% of your purchase price, and it's not hitting that yet.
It is not. Quite a lot under that.
Yep. So 115. So just how we break this down, 115,681. That includes when we're talking about gross revenue. Gross revenue is the rental amount per night, but it also does include TAT, which is a transient accommodation tax, as well as our GET tax. There is two TAT taxes, one to the state, one to Maui County, and just know that is lumped together a lot of times in this gross revenue. So net proceeds, well, that's just gross revenue backing out the 25% cost to manage it. That net proceed does not include HOA fees. It does not include your taxes as well. So you can see how difficult it is to carry a mortgage with these things here as well.
It is a really nice toy.
Yep. Hale Kamaole. So Cam 3. So we're starting to hit Wailea. This is very close to Kamaole Sands. Hale Kamaole, though, is zoned apartment.
Sure is. Sure is. This one kind of has some raving fans as well. I've always heard
Mm-hmm.
and been told that it's the Canadian complex. This was the complex
Aha.
that the majority of Canadians bought in and is kind of carried over the years to be that.
Roger that. They're
So
not too
come
happy with Trump.
price coming down.
They sure are.
Probably has to go down even further for it to be attractive as full-time
It's a,
residents or
yeah, especially with that garden view there. But fees aren't too bad because we're across the street from the ocean.
and the square footage is nice. A lot of these ones we see, Johnny, are like 580, 590 square feet. So almost 800 on here definitely gives you a little bit more wiggle
There it
room.
is, man. There it is. Super cute. I like that plantation vibes. Built in 2004. Um, this is what happens on Maui when you have 2 acres and multiple structures. They may look like simple structures, but still 2.5 milli.
They command all the monies. So you got 2,200 square feet in one, and then you got 888 square feet to two in another unit. And then you
Yep.
also have a large barn as well.
which, which tends to be a Nohana a lot of the times.
Sure does. So
Yep.
full on compound in Haiku for 2.485
Oh,
million. They've come down what 114,000 so far, 115,000.
I get that it's a newer build, but man, I see stuff going for 1.8 all the time. Similar setup, right? Detached, 2 bedrooms and 2 acres. So we'll see. Cute though, super cute.
Very cute. K
These
Halani.
the these are coming back down to earth. I mean, these 2 bedrooms were 1.2, 1.3. Man, do we go sub 1 million at Villas at Kealani?
It's trending in that direction, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous community. We talk a lot about Kealani. If you like that kind of mainland style of very congruent looking houses and HOA so that all the yards are kept well, it's definitely Kealani. Some people, it's a big turnoff. These are definitely luxury condominiums, though. They have the big garages. It's a gated community. Some of them have just super amazing views. Really, really make for a nice regular home. Really, really like lock and leave lifestyle. You've got the garage. You can leave a car in there. All kinds of opportunities there. But yeah, just a great, great spot.
No
And
real
really,
amenities though, right?
nah, no pool, anything like that, really. No.
So I guess maintenance fees kind of according to
They
that.
reflect
So
that. They reflect that, right?
not much you're getting out of that. A lot of
So
these,
Halle Royale coming down here. I mean, that's actually kind of a decent price for a two-bedroom in there, man.
yeah, this is the one that's
So,
pretty dated.
yep, I showed in there. So we went and took a look. Just the grounds are what make Halle Royale. Found out an interesting comment because Juliet was one of our realtors and she lives in there. I think she said like there was either 8 or 12 realtors that live in Halle Royale.
Hmm.
So speaks well to it. Man, the fees have really, really jumped there. Halle Royale has a boatload of amenities though. Couple pools, sauna, jacuzzi, tennis courts, basketball courts, very, very lush grounds. So that's the scoop on Halle Royale, strictly residential.
Sure is. How about this
Look
one?
at that, dude. Yeah, so just a regular looking house, Danny. 1780 square feet, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, has an Ohana, but they built it right there on Tavares Bay. That is a surf spot. 6.25 milli.
Wow.
I don't see it on 0.35 acres, but
I
we'll
mean,
keep an eye on it.
it's a beautiful spot.
I
Small
mean, the
lot,
views, yeah, the views are insane.
normal
Uh,
house.
yep. Joshy knows what he's doing though, so we'll see.
Sure does. Let's watch and see where this one goes. There
Mm,
seems to be, as we've kind of talked about, there's that element of European windsurfer that just kind of comes in and doesn't really matter what these look like, and it's just buy it up.
I hear a lot of trust fund money
Mm,
in North Shore, kind of want to mingle with the regular people. They're totally into the extreme sports, but sponsored.
there it is.
Yep. So, okay, here we go. A little haiku rice camp, bro. 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I mean, now we're talking 850. I don't think this one makes the week.
This one will probably move quick.
This one will go, even with the 1 bath.
Oh yeah, that's decent
Right
living,
there in Rice,
decent space,
right
right
there in
there.
Rice Camp. That's what's up. Go to Nuka. Viet K, 850, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. What's the square footage on this guy here? So this is the larger one where you go up, has the loft area at 1327. There is a 900 square foot version of a 3-2 at Villas Econo Ridge. There it is, man. 1731 for fees. These are
Oof.
hanging out on the market a lot, dude. They're becoming a collection up there at VK.
I mean, that's a lot of fees for also no amenities, right? No pool,
None. Zippo.
no barbecue, no jacuzzi, no tennis courts, nothing.
Zippo.
So, and really no grassy area or anything,
No.
just parking
So I mean,
lots. So,
you've got parks within Kahana Ridge, so that's where you would go to. I mean, it'd take you a bit of a walk, take your golf cart or your moped or something. But yeah, so bit of
hmm,
an ocean view there. We'll see. So this is a larger version, so I get the pricing. But man, those fees just keep on beating it down.
we'll see how long this one hangs out.
Yep. So here you go. 894 square feet, just as you're coming into the town of Haiku, on Paia Bay there, and 4.75 milli. Oh, it's two houses, so there's a 1 bedroom cottage there as well. So that's the space.
There's your cottage.
That's oceanfront for you on Maui, gang.
4.75.
right next to, is it, hit the map for me? Are we right now, right next to Baldwin Park and all that? Or am I completely lost?
No, I believe that's exactly where we're at.
There it is. So yeah, might have a little bit of riffraff. uh, oh yeah. And
Right
okay,
by the park.
you're across the street from that parking lot too. So yeah, just know you may have some some funk around you.
4.75. So now
Make it make
it's really
okay.
making that other one, that one that was a little past town that we talked about a couple months ago
Yeah.
that we threw out as a deal of the week with two houses on it, oceanfront, and what was that? 399 is what it got down
Yeah.
to.
There it is. It also makes that one that's on Maui Bay look like a steal, right? For
Yeah.
now two and change.
Yeah.
So
So
this one,
Maui
dude,
Bay.
make it make sense for me. So 2.995, hit the history button on this one. I remember Liz sold this one. She couldn't sell it, had to get under two for it. So yeah, closed in 2023 for 1,000,009, and now magically it's worth $1 million less in this current market. So this is a
Million
location
dollars
play,
more.
guys. This is right by Baby Beach. So there is some burn zone houses, but I just don't get the pricing on this stuff, dude. There's one that Tyler listed here in Kula EO too, where I'm just like, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, pretty plain house. Nothing extraordinary in the finishes.
so I get that, one across the street in Kahoma just went into escrow with a pool at 2.5, but yeah.
Sometimes
But again,
hard to sort out.
if you're really in love with Baby Beach, that's why you're going to buy this home. I have friends that own the two houses right directly next door to this one here. So
Options.
there it is, man. So Kihei, single family with an attached ohana for 1,375. So I got a 4.2, 1,392 square feet. And what's my ohana? So it's a
Little studio.
studio. Yep. I don't know, Danny. What say you?
I think kind of market price.
I mean, I'm basically at just a shade under $1,000 a foot.
I think with the Ohana, roughly market
Oh,
price.
nice
Got a
view
nice
there.
yard.
Our nice yard. Yeah, that
You
gives
know,
it a little love.
you don't see much of that in Kihei. So
Yep.
the
Got the
studios is just
ductless.
one big room. It's got AC though, what you need in Kihei.
There it
Eh,
is.
might make sense for someone. Probably a little bit under that.
Feel it.
Golf
Here
villas.
it
Here we
is.
go.
These just go, man. These Hakalani golf villas, they just go. So they're condos that live like homes, um, no attached walls, on a golf course very close to Maui Bruco.
Over and over, they sell. It's the most turnover unit, most turnover complex on the island.
Holding
Basically,
their
they
value
sell the most
strong
units per year and hold the value.
and nowhere near the beach. So,
Hey, it's a
there it
gem deal.
is. 318 days later, started at 1.2, got down to 950. Now we're in. Did
And
they steal it? Did they steal it?
yeah, they're
Yeah.
less than this.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Sub nine. I'll say that.
this is
Sub
the
nine.
this is the flex one where he negotiated $300,000 below the original list price, huh?
Yep. This
Okay.
is it. So, hey,
I
I mean,
love it.
under a
Under
million
a
for a
milli.
single family home, Holly
Under a
Pialani. There's a
milli.
lot of, remember, there's a couple weeks ago we had a few in this neighborhood that were in the 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 range that were just sitting, and we're like, well, it's got to come down at some point. So here you go. 318
Boom.
days it took to come down on this one.
Nicely done. Kihei Shores, 2-2. So this guy's next door and above Kamaole Sands. But yeah, you price it right. So this is one of the basement ones that look like.
Yep.
But benefit is you walk right out into a little bit of a garden area. Looks like they updated this one at some point. So well done. Fees 961. They have a pool. They've got a jacuzzi. They've got Camp 3 Beach just down the driveway.
Location,
Oh,
location, location on this one.
these are always a lower value than so many other places. So for the location, it's a bit of a steal, kind of funky complex. These bottom ones to get down to, dude, they are very, very funky. It is dark down there. If I was a lady, I'd feel a little uncomfortable, quite
Dark
frankly.
staircase down the stairs. So
Yep. Yep. But well placed,
445.
great pricing there that got it done.
Here's your neighborhood.
Okay. Yep. So that one went for 1,264,000. There was one in here that was Kula EO, but I think you may have taken it out. But man, it was one of those where it was originally priced for like 9 milli and now it's priced for 12 million. And
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, are we in a different market that I'm not aware of?
Going up in price.
Yep. That's how we do it
So,
over here.
hey, covered some interesting topics, the uniqueness of Maui market, which we stress a lot, the importance of understanding the different stages as you think about this for you, owning something on Maui, talked about a little bit of the complications of new construction and some of the projects going on, the difficulty to make sense of it all, and a little bit of our personal journeys to improving ourselves and peace of mind. Maybe that's helpful for you. And of course, the hot list. So stay tuned. We do got a do of the week for you. We'll drop tomorrow. That'll be a fun one. And then no episode on Friday, July 4th. Happy birthday, America.
Yes. All right.
274 years.
What a country.
But not so many fireworks on Maui. We save that for New Year's.
We do. The Peely
Until
Hot
next
will still
time,
blow up. Yep.
hui
Hui ho,
ho.
gang.